Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video. This is episode number
127.
127. Happy thank you for my coffee, dear. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You'll probably see this after St. Patrick's Day, but so be it. It takes him a few days to edit usually. So first of all, I wanted to mention that I hit a milestone, and to me it's rather unbelievable that 24,000 people would subscribe to this old lady talking about her cross stitch, but obviously there's that many of you out there unless you're all bots. But if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I would tell you just join the party, you know. So anyway, for a while I videoed every 2 weeks. Now I kind of video every 3 to 4 weeks. It just works out better for me. So I just wanted to address a couple comments that were made on my last video. Now, first of all, 99.9% of the comments I get are very kind, and they're very admirable about my stitching, and I just want to thank you for all of you that have left a kind comment. It's very encouraging, and just makes me want to keep doing these videos. I've stitched for a long time, and I'm coming up on 7 years soon as far as a video anniversary, so I've enjoyed it. It's never been a chore. The only chore is his editing. Sometimes he gets a little testy, but really just because he needs a new computer. So anyway.
Who gets testy?
Okay. The peanut gallery has already started. So I had two comments, and I, in no particular order. The first one was that I was told I need to have a dermatologist remove the spots on my face. Now, I'm 73 and a half years old. I've told you before, you're going to get barnacles. It just happens whether you want it to happen or not. Secondly, I had just been to the dermatologist not too long ago, late last fall, and they said everything was fine. And thirdly, I did go ahead and fire my makeup artist, because if they can't cover them up better than that, then they need to go. Okay, so that was the first comment that was a little like, oh, okay. The second comment was from somebody, and this one bothered me. You know, most of them I can figure whatever, you know, spots on my face, you know, everybody's got spots on their face. If they don't, they're more perfect than I am. Was that I had seen them at a retreat or an event, I think is how they phrased it, and that I had looked right at them, they said hi, and I didn't respond, that I had ignored them. So I just want to say, first of all, I would never do that intentionally. I don't know the event. I asked if they would share with me what event it was. Second of all, I say, I'm sorry. I never, like I said, I would never do that intentionally. I would never ignore somebody. So all I can say is possibly I was distracted. Maybe I was on my way to the bathroom because maybe I had a bathroom issue, which is another, just like barnacles. The older you get, you have bathroom issues. So anyway, I apologize. I would never do that intentionally. It is a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes when I go to an event, I do have a lot of people that usually come up and say, oh, I watch your videos, or I like your videos, which is very, very kind, not necessary. I don't consider myself anything special. I'm not a designer. I'm not a linen dyer. I just am a stitcher. So to be recognized like that's a little odd. But again, I really don't need any fanfare because I really am just a stitcher. So anyway, now let's get on to talk about that stitching that I've done. I think it's been, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks since my last video. You know, you sound like you're in confession. You know, it's been 3 weeks since I've confessed my sins. For me, that's more than once a day. Anyway, so I had shown you this the last few times, and Oh, the other thing, I want to thank everybody for their comments about my Blackbird Palooza. I have been stitching Blackbird for a long time. I did watch other videos that mentioned that they really enjoyed it. So I enjoyed doing it, and that's probably the biggest Palooza I'll ever do because I think I've done more Blackbird than anything, but you know, who knows? So we'll see. As time goes on, we'll see. So my finish was Little Birds, and I did start this in 2019 when it came out. It was actually first part of a retreat at the attic. That was before Barb had passed away. And I did not go to that retreat. I was signed up, but I did not go because that's when my daughter was sick. So anyway, I started it shortly after that, 2019. I put it away for quite a while. No particular reason other than it's very, very large. It's 395 by 339. So for all practical purposes, it's close to 400. So it's done. I did work most of February on this piece. That's worth a cup of coffee, a drink of coffee. I was really determined to finish this one. I had 5 Blackbird finishes in January, February. If you watched my video, I said that January and February were going to be my focus was going to be on Blackbird. And the reason I'm dedicating certain months to certain designers is I want to really tackle those whips that I have. So I had a new start for January. That was my I Love More Strong, which was a Blackbird, my blessing or my January sampler or whatever you want to call it. And then I had 4 other finishes. So I've done 5 totally that were all Blackbird. And this was number 5. So much talk ado. So this is Little Birds by BlackBird Designs. I used all the called for, including the linen, which was Picture This Plus Heartland. Now, originally, I think this one was designed by Alma. Sometimes they collaborated, her and Barb, and sometimes one designer would do it. But if you see, it says Alma Allen, Lakewood, Colorado, August 2019. I just have this weird thing about I don't know why, not putting where I live. It's nothing like, I'm afraid you're going to come, torture me or something if you know where I live. It's not that. It's simply that I really consider myself a Midwestern girl or whatever, or person. And because I grew up in St. Louis, went to college in Iowa, and then moved from Iowa to Kansas City. And, my whole life was in those 3 states up until I moved to Florida. So now I've been in Florida longer than I've been any other place, but I just did not want to necessarily put Jacksonville or St. Louis. So instead, I put Wrought by C.B. Whitchurch 2025. The craziest part of this was the flowers. And Tara Sully Stitches, if you're not watching her, you should. She finished it recently too. She's already sent it to the framer. She's a better woman than me. Mine have to age a while before they go to the framer. And my bank account has to age for a while too. Anyway, she used the Vicki Clayton silks. She also used Heartland by Picture This Plus, minus 40 count. I don't know if she used 40 or 36. But interestingly enough, hers looks a little different. Her colors are just a little bit more saturated than mine. But we commiserated about these flowers because I think there's 7 colors in each of the flowers. So anyway, I'm glad it's finished. I would like to eventually have it framed. It's not number 1 on the list, but it hopefully at some point will get framed. So then what else have I been stitching? Well, March and April, I want to do With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. For some reason my collar keeps doing weird things. Please don't comment about my clothes. Bad enough you comment about my face. Don't comment about my clothes. If you're not here for the stitching, move on. Oh, well. Although I have to usually look and say, okay, what did I wear on the last video? And my husband will usually say, you wore white or you wore whatever. He usually is more up on it than I am. So anyway, what else have I been stitching? So like I said, my intention with these focus designer months, this will be March and April, May and at least part of June, I'm going to do Plum Street because I have some whips Plum Street that I want to finish. And then I've decided I'm going to do sampler summer. I have a lot of reproduction samplers that are whips, and I really would like to get back to them. I may dedicate one weekend day, like maybe Saturday, for over one stitching. You know, there's also designers like Stacy Nash, Teresa Kogut, Kathy Barrick. I have a lot of whips by those designers also. So some of it can be flexible. So anyway, but back to with Thy Needle and Thread. So I had started this piece. Michelle Cozy Egg started this for I can't remember if it was her birthday start or her or a solstice start. I'm not sure, but that's At Home by Brenda Gervais. Beautiful piece. The picture does not do it justice because it is a gorgeous piece. Well, I had started it. It calls for Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, and I had started it. And then I decided I really wanted to do it on something other than Vintage Country Mocha. Now, I like Vintage Country Mocha. It's modeled on one side because it's kind of painted. Some people wash it, a lot of people, and I like it for smalls, but I just don't want a big sampler on it. So, and of course, I have a needle in here because that's just how I roll, I guess. So let me see, how does this go? So I decided to change the linen out, and I'm using 36 count pecan butter by Lakeside. Now, I usually start over far enough so that I can use this extra for, smalls or, whatever. So this is where I am, working on the border. And then, no, that's not right. I don't think that's right. I think it goes like this. Sorry. Because if I put a little bit of color in with the flowers, I usually do it where I first start. So this is how it goes. So I started down on the left side, and here's a little bit closer. The colors are beautiful. So I kind of jumped around, but this is pecan butter, 36 count by Lakeside. I have more 40 count than I have 36, but I had a fat quarter of that, and I originally got this piece at one of the retreats I went to. Might have been Country Sampler, I'm not sure. It's either that or Amana. And here's all the colors. So you have this bright, you call this aqua. I call it like a light teal, but I know it's not really teal. I guess it's aqua. It was my dad's favorite color. I think I've told you before. My dad was, well, they had an outdoor advertising business, and so he was my dad really was an artist. He could, draw freehand, a lot of different things. In fact, he did on my sister's first house, when her kids were little, he painted Big Bird, Bert, and Ernie on the wall. So it was like a mural. So he really, well, my husband keeps giving me these little cues. Do you want to come on camera, dear?
No, I'm fine as a director.
I thought you were the producer. You're the director?
Yeah.
Oh. if you ever go to St. Louis and go down by the brewery, Anheuser-Busch, my grandfather originally painted the picture of the cart with the Clydesdales, the beer cart. Now, it's been on the building. It's been since touched up and all that, because he painted it probably in the 40s, whatever, 30s. But anyway, my dad was an artist. And if they were going to buy me clothes for Christmas, my mom always let my dad pick out the colors of the clothes. So I had sweaters this color. Whew. I came back. Took a while, but I came back. Anyway, that is at home, and that is one of the things I have been working on. And like I said, I had technically started it before, but I had... so I'm not going to call it a new start, even though I changed the linen, and it's in this little project bag that I got at Amana. I wish I could remember her name. She was a table mate. Thank you very much. Okay, what was the other thing I worked on? I have like 4 or 5 with a needle and thread that I've been kind of working on. The next one, which is in a project bag that I made, this is Blackbird fabric for the most part. And the inside is just the same. It's kind of a check. It's not a true gingham, but it's kind of a check. Anyway, and this was a whip. I don't know when I started it, but it's Marianne Kopp. Now, these are all by With Thy Needle and Thread, so I'm not necessarily going to say each time that that's who it's by. Marianne Kopp. I kind of put this away for a little bit because, well, first of all, okay, so the linen, what linen am I using here? I am using 40 count American Chestnut by R&R. So I'm using the Vicki Clayton silks, which are HDF silks. If you go, hand-dyed fibers is what HDF stands for. So they are variegated. I love the feel of them. Sometimes the colors are not exactly true, I don't think. But anyway, so the house is orange. Let me show you the picture again. The house is an orange, and that row of bricks down below is also orange. So when I started putting the bricks in down below, it was like, whoa, those are bright orange. The called for color is Weeks Clockwork. Now, Clockwork to me is not a bright orange by any means. In fact, it has a lot of brown. So that's Clockwork. And the color that the Vicki Clayton silks came, it was called, let's see, I don't want to take this out of the bag. Kabocha, which is a pretty, doesn't really show in camera, but it's a pretty bright orange. So I had started doing those bricks below, and I was like, it's too bright for me. So and I'm not sure how I came up with what color, but I decided to instead order this color, which is Yap Island, and it's a little more brown. And that's what I've done these bricks in. So that is Yap Island. So I've been working on this whole part under the grass, or with the grass, whatever. So this is where I am on this one. I have gone all the way around with the border. I've filled in a few of the flowers, which are gorgeous. Got that, my dad's favorite color, aqua, up there. And then this is what I've been working on, which is a lot of fill in. I don't know if you can tell, but above the green, there's that kind of eggshell color. And once you fill in the grass above it, then you can see it, and the gate. And I still have to do the mortars in that brick. sidewalk or whatever it is. So that was number 2 thing that I've been working on, Mary Ann Kopp. And this is a reproduction, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. A lot of people think of Brenda Gervais because of her smalls, which obviously she has some wonderful smalls. But she does do a lot of reproductions. And I'll show you some other ones when I get into other things I'd like to stitch. The next thing that I put in, not very many, a few stitches. And this was really the one piece that I was like, I have to get back to this. So this needs to be kind of my priority. This one came out quite a while ago. And this one is Manor at Quaker Hill. This was not a reproduction. A lot of people finished it at the time I started it. I kind of got in, you kind of get inundated seeing other people's progress, and then you either get overwhelmed or you get tired of seeing it, and so you think, oh, okay, I'll put that away until not everybody is stitching on it. So anyway, so that is Manor at Quaker Hill. This is what I had finished when I picked it up, and I have started to put in fact, I still have a needle in it, so shame on me. I started to put just a few stitches in the bottom. This, I believe, is on, am I showing that? Yeah. Is on Ren. Picture This Plus Ren. And I think I'm using, I don't know if it's 36 or 40. Let's see if I wrote it down. That would be ingenious. Yeah, 40. Oh, I lied. It's on Fawn by Picture This Plus. And the same sort of colors. You have that same, this one is lettuce leaf. It's funny how you'll notice that a lot of the designers, they will use the same, they'll repeat colors. Like I know Brenda Gervais really likes Oscar and Olive that she combines in some of her greenery. So anyway, there's the colors. And I think I'm using the called for as far as the colors and the threads. Pretty flowers. So there's a lot to be done on this one. And, when I originally did this or started this, I had no idea that there were queen stitches in here. So this little strawberry right here, stunning queen stitches. And there's some over one. So it'll be fun. I love the little swans in the little pond in front of the little house. It's really a fun one. And I'm hoping that I can get a lot of stitches put in on this one. And this is a project bag that I got recently from Christy Crosshatch Quilts. Some of these people that are very popular in their bag making, you really have to get on it to get them. So that is Manor at Quaker Hill. Another one that I am working on. And another sampler. I think the other two that I'm working on are not samplers, but the other sampler is Ann Sandals. This is an older Brenda Gervais chart. I saw it on her website. I've also seen some people that have finished it. It's framed on their wall, and I loved it. It says Adam and his wife hid themselves. Well, it would help if I could read it. It's really light. Hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God. The Lord God. Among the trees. I think that's what it says, among the trees. Ann Sandals, her work, age 13. Again, I think the picture is kind of blah. And this one I am stitching on Light Exemplar by Lakeside. And this one I got quite a bit done. I worked on the flowers. Oops. Also has a needle, but it's not actually in the stitching. This is where I am on this one. It's really small. Again, Light Exemplar by Lakeside. But these flowers are really pretty. The house is checkerboard. I love a checkerboard house. And sandals. So you have Adam and Eve. They're dressed rather nicely. You have the Tree of Life, or Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil. So this I should be able to finish. We'll see. Depends on how much time I spend on it. But I'm just happy to get back to some of these widths, which is the whole reason I'm doing this monthly focus thing. Okay, so the next thing that I picked up, and a couple other people are working on this. Wait, this goes. Gotta make sure I get everything back where they need to be. Okay, I think Jordan, the tattooed stitcher, I think. You know, sometimes when you watch a bunch of floss tube people, they all kind of blend together. I watched Lizzie, the stitcher. She's in New Zealand. I always watch Narissa. I watched Brenda and Laura. Who else have I watched? Teresa, Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler. She has out a new video. Nicole's Needlework. She had out a new video, which I was so thrilled when it popped up. I was like, if you could see me jumping up and down, it was quite the sight. I was really excited because I've been inspired by Nicole for years, and Kitten Stitcher also was wonderful, and she seems to be very happy in her new Pennsylvania home. Anyway, I can't think of anybody else that I've watched offhand, but I'm sure there are many, and I'm sorry if I'm forgetting someone. But anyway, a couple people are doing this to quote Shakespeare. Now, this is an older chart, and I do believe you can get this from Brenda's website, which is Country Stitches Online. I've mentioned it quite a few times. So, Country Stitches Online to quote Shakespeare. So, I started really reading the pattern, which is, sometimes optional. It calls for a 22.5 piece of linen, but the stitching is only 11, I'm going to round 11.5, let's say. And I was like, okay, why are we getting a 22.5 piece of linen for an 11.5 stitching? And then it's like, the little light bulb goes on, and you're like, oh, because it has to go around the box. So, okay, let me show you here. You use a 7-inch paper mache box. I don't know where I got this, but you can get this from Factory Direct. Come on, focus. I don't know why it's not focusing. Factory Direct Craft 284183, and this is a 7-inch, so it's 7 by 5, no, 7 by 7 by 5 by, I don't know, 2 and something. It's exactly the box that it calls for. It comes with a lid, but you don't use the lid for this piece. So then I was like, oh, okay, you have to go around the box. So let me finagle this here a little bit. So you have to put a layer of batting before you put the stitching. Now I'm just I just have this clipped around here, obviously. So I realized that the 11.5 stitching is going to end like here. And the back part of the linen is going to be just the linen, no stitching. So I said, Self, is that what you want? And Self said, I don't think I want that. So I decided to stitch this little up 3, down 3 border above the alphabet. I decided to stitch that all the way around for 2 reasons. That way the back of the box is not just plain. Not that I'm going to, show that, but whatever. It just makes me feel better. So just go with me, okay? It just makes me feel better. So if you stitch the 22.5 with the up 3, down 3 border, then you have to center the main part of the stitching in the middle of that, if that makes sense. Surely it does. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And I'm using all the called for colors. Pinks, reds. I'm missing the color geranium. Now this is the DMC equivalent according to the conversion on 123 Stitch, but I have it on order. It should come this week. So I may just use, when it comes, the actual geranium color. I just want to see how close it is. In the meantime, I'm stitching everything without that color. And I will also do that little over one with a 3-inch hoop. And I have the ticking too to finish it. So this is my progress. So I've stitched that up 3, down 3 border. I think I still need to do a few on this end to make it really even. Oops, I'm showing you the back. Sorry. So here I got that little girl finished, except for her. No, I have her finished. So now you see what I'm saying. I'm using whatever it called for. I think it was 40 count exemplar. 40 count exemplar by Lakeside. So when this goes all the way around, the back will match up. And that also will keep it the same. So this will stay even. Does that make sense? So if the back matches up here, that tells me that my stitching. So whatever, I think I'm making this harder than it should be to explain. This is how it will be. A little bit more like this. There's not much room at the bottom underneath the alphabet. So I'm kind of excited about this because, most of my finishing has to age for a while, just like pieces that need to be framed before I get them finished. But I put a lot of thought into that one, which took a lot of brain power. Which, we don't always have excess of that. So if we're going to use it, we better use it wisely, that brain power stuff. So anyway. And then my friend Tara Sully Stitches, not her most recent video. She just came out with one this weekend that was her market. She went to market for Rachel, linen and flax. Needle and flax. Sorry, Rachel. I do know who you are. But the one prior to that, she was showing her finish of the Schoolhouse, Summer Schoolhouse series by Brenda Gervais. All this is by Brenda Gervais, but whatever. This came out a long time ago. And of course I collected it at the time. Because, that's just what I do. which, by the way, I'll tell you about some of my market pieces that I ordered. I haven't gotten anything yet, but so here it is. Summer Schoolhouse Series by Brenda Gervais. Oh, shoot. I forgot to get the piece that I have finished. Anyway, I'm going to be right back. Okay, so years ago, first of all, this is on 28 count mushroom Lugana, and it's all over one. No. Over one is not my favorite. I can do it. I don't think my stitches lay nice, but when your stitches are that small, please. So here is the first part that I finished. And I've had this languishing in a project bag for a while. Let's just say for a while. My stitches aren't the greatest. You can see where I started to improve, but I got to where I was really getting the hang of it. And this is what I meant before when I said I would like to dedicate a day to do over one stitching. Okay, hold on here. Where did I put that? There's like 5 patterns, so that's why I'm kind of struggling here. Anyway, this was number 1. It's the biggest and I have it finished. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces plus the little horn book and the strawberry down here to finish. I'm not making any promises of when I'll get this finished, but I'm happy to be back stitching this. This is in a project bag that Katie from So Tattered gifted me a while back, which I thought was very kind. Definitely my colors. And these are the threads. Already did that, dear. So I have the first one finished, and of course I decided, well, the best thing to do is go to number 2. Oh, here's the pattern for the first one. So that's the first one. It's all finished. And they're finished individually. You don't like sew them all together. No, I'm fine. It's still warm enough. Okay, he's distracting me. So the next one that I decided to work on was the little girl. So if you notice, there's a theme because you have the alphabet. So this one is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And this one with the girl starts H, I, J, K. The guy is L, M, N, O, P. This is an alternate way to finish them, or to display them, I guess I should say. So, yeah, I decided to start working on it. Now, I do use a hoop for over one stitching. It just, I think it makes it a little easier. I do keep the hoop a little bit flexible. It's not, drum tight, so that sometimes I can still do a sewing motion. So this is my progress on HIJK. Isn't she cute? Now there's a big hole in her dress because there's a strawberry that she's holding that fits there. And I'm kind of enjoying that. Who knew? Where's Carol and what have you done with her? Because Carol does not like over one stitching. I have plenty of 28 count mushroom Lugana. I have the little horn book and the linen that goes around it. I have the rickrack so I have it all. And it's just a matter of doing it. So I think maybe Saturday over one stitching, you know, whatever. I need to just say, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. And I've got enough plastic bags. Okay. I'm this weirdo. You probably already knew that, but no news is good news, right? I have a bag of bags. And it kind of like moves around the house. It's like, it's not something that you really want to have sitting out. It's a big Ziploc full of all kinds of Ziplocs. They're all these kind of bags. Because, you know, sometimes you'll get thread, like if you order thread and they're all in a bag. I can't throw that away. So I have a bag of bags. It's pretty big, and it's a pretty big bag of bags. So I was like, well, what? You know, I kind of rearranged some stuff in my sewing room, and I'm like, what am I going to do with the bag of bags? I don't want to throw away the bag of bags. I have to keep the bag of bags. So I put it in one place, and then I couldn't remember where it was. So then I'm searching for a bag, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the kitchen and get a fresh Ziploc bag, okay? I have a bag of bags. So what I did, I put it on the washer and dryer in the laundry room. It's on the washer. So if I ever ask you, you can tell me, your bag of bags is in the laundry room. It's a sickness. I don't know. And you know, at my age, is there any hope that it's all gonna be normal again? I doubt it. Oh my. So that's the entirety of what I've been stitching on since March. Now, Little Birds I didn't finish until like March 3rd or 4th. So I didn't get those first 3 or 4 days I was really stitching Blackbird, and I should have been on with thy needle and thread, but you know, I forgive myself. So anyway, I do have a couple more whips. With thy needle and thread whips. Whether I get to them or not, I don't know. One of them was paper snowflakes. That's a winter one. I probably won't touch that one. I'm trying to get more of these ones. I'm trying to work on the ones that I have shown you. But there's always ones that I want to work on. So I'm going to show you that. And then I have a little bit of haul. I don't think I showed haul in my last few videos, so I have some haul. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through some things that I have. I'm going to do, this is one more whip that I have, and I may or may not touch this one. And that is Coming to America. This came out years ago. And I do have some work done on it. I have the entire border done, and that's about it. Little bit of the ship. I don't know. To me, this is just kind of a fall piece, I guess, because it came out in October one year. But so I have that. And that is all in this bag, and I'm using whatever the called for. Not sure what it was. It's 40 count. It's an R&R, but I'm not sure what it is. And here's the threads for that. You know, it came with its own little bling, all of that. So I would like to at some point finish this. I just don't know if I'm going to touch it during March and April. And this is a project bag that I made, which I don't really like the plastic ones as much as I used to, because I have had the the pattern picture kind of transfer to that plastic. Okay, here's a few things that I do definitely want to work on, but I have to at least finish one of those ones I showed you, which I might. I might finish like, to quote the little box thing. I might finish that. This is one. This is, let me take it out of the plastic, wool and flax, and I actually have this box. So all the more reason I need to work on this. And it's not huge. It's like 133 by 97 on 36 count. It's all kitted. It calls for legacy. The box is already green too. I think it was from, Lone Elm box. So I have the box. Just need to stitch it. Another one that I've been, for some reason, putting off and I need to work on is this one, which is the Saltbox quilt sampler. Again, I have the box. Now this one's not, I have to paint it. I just love this. Why haven't I done this? I have the linen. This one I'm using roasted cashew. Someone sent me the actual, which was a silk weaver, but it wasn't, it was 36 and I really want to do this on 40. I know it calls for 30, no, it calls for 40. So in order to fit that box, and here's the threads for that. Never enough time, you know? Do we not know that by now? So the other day, I guess it was Saturday, Mr. Saltbox had some errands he was going to go run. And I don't know if he asked me or if I just volunteered, but I said, well, I'm going to be working today. He's like, you're working? Which usually means I'm quilting, because I've had a lot of customer quilts. A lot. It's kept me really busy. But I said, no, I'm going to be working stitching. He's like, okay. I said, see, because I do videos, this is, I consider this my work. So I stitch, and it's my job. Okay, the other one I'd love to do, I started this a long time ago. I think I started on 32 count. I didn't like the linen. It was just like, and then I said, okay, I'm going to change out all the colors. And I tried to do that, of which I am terrible at. I did not get that gift of color like my dad. And then this was another time that Sully Stitches Tara showed it. Finished and framed, I believe. See, I have tons of extra floss on here. And she did it on this piece of Butterscotch Baby, which is by Kitten Stitcher. This is way too big. I haven't cut it down. And I think she just changed one color, I think it was the house, maybe. So I can do that. I can do that. So, kitted pieces that I'd like to work on. What did this go to? Who knows? I do label them, so that helps. Oh, this is a bunch of floss that I put together for a lot of her spring pieces, which I do that with Blackbird, but a lot of her spring smalls. One of them is Spring Awakens. I write them on the little thing here. Girl in Our Garden, Spring, Seasons in My Heart, Spring, and Spring Awakens. These are all some of the colors used in those. So I'm going to go through really quick some kitted with the needle and thread pieces that I have. And then, see, this is why I have to have a bag of bags. I'm going to go really quick. And I'm just going to show you the pattern. If you want to know the fabric, I can certainly tell you, but this is Every Opening Flower. I love this one. I need to stitch that. That one is on Winter Brew. See, I said I'd tell you. I want to stitch this one. I love this piece. Caroline Amelia Trowel. I don't know why. You know, some of these, when they came out, I should have started them, but I didn't. Probably because I have an enormous amount of whips. Love that one. And that is a reproduction. I think she has a picture of the antique in here, but I'm not sure. Yes, here's the antique. Really want to stitch that. I've got big plans for March and April, don't I? Regina Habel. A couple people have done this one. It's beautiful. I love the kind of washed out look of it. I don't have this one kitted. Shocker. Tree of Life sampler. This one's really small. This they had on display at Country Sampler. I think it was last year. It was either last year or the year before. I can't remember. It's really small, but it's really pretty. I'm not a fan of this pink on this, but I like the frame, but not with the pink. Rejoice Evermore. Gorgeous. Love those birds in that red house. These are all kitted, so I could just pick them up. Not all. Most of them are kitted. Redbird sampler. I have the threads. I just need to pick out a linen. Hannah Ann Wallace. This actually kind of reminds me of a, have the threads. This kind of reminds me of a Blackbird. It does have over 1 on the alphabet and the verse. There may be some over 1 too on some of the motifs. It's so, so pretty. I'm just really happy that I'm doing this. I mean, can you tell? I'm just really happy. This one is one of her Christmassy pieces. It's supposed to kind of be a companion to Winter Rose Manor, which I have finished. Light of Winter. So pretty. Love that border. Is that not gorgeous? And that one I have kitted. This is a series that, no, it isn't. Yes, it is. This is a series that came out a while ago. And I have all of it, although I don't know why I only have the first part picture. It's called Birds of a Feather, and I have the chart for all of it. But it came in 3 parts. I don't know if you can get this on our website or not. Birds of a Feather. I probably put the other 2 away because this gives me the colors and this is the final chart. And then I have all of the individual charts in this bag. Isn't that pretty? She's amazing. We are so fortunate to have so many wonderful designers. It really is quite amazing. And I did order her market releases, so I have them coming. Okay, I'm going to show you a haul very, very quickly because I don't want this. I said I don't want it to be really long, and here I am just babbling on. He laughs. Okay, today's St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, these didn't get stitched. Maybe next year. These I like to get the paper patterns, so I generally order the paper patterns. These are Baggy O'Green and Lucky O'Green by Not Forgotten Farm. Lori's little people like this are just adorable. This is an exclusive from Hobby House. I only ordered the chart. Eleanor Roberts. This is by the Scarlet House. If you are interested, I don't know if it's still, I think it's still available, but it's through Hobby House. It's not through the Facebook group. It's just Hobby House exclusive. But I love those 3 houses. And you can do it. It calls for Dolly Madison from Needle and Flax, which I have some of that linen color, and then needlepoint silk or DMC. I will probably use the needlepoint silk, but I didn't order it because I have a lot of needlepoint silk. So, and then I ordered 2 pieces of linen from Cedar River. I think a couple of these Spindrift by Cedar River Linen Design and Perfect Pie Crust. I think a couple of the new Brenda Gervais pieces are on these linens. That's why I ordered them. Not that I have to have the exact, but. And then this was my Seraphim Linen of the Month, which I love this color. This is called Lady Godiva 40 count. Isn't that gorgeous? That's pretty true. It's kind of a caramel. Anyway, that's through Victorian Rose Needle Arts, which is it's only about an hour from here, but I signed up for their Seraphim Linen Club a long time ago. Maybe it's been a year, and I've never been disappointed with those colors. I got my Threads of History Club from Country Sampler. I saw somebody had put this on Stash Unload, which I was kind of surprised because I think this is gorgeous. S.S. Harris Heart and Hand Sampler. I'm not going to take it out of the bag. By Cross Stitch Antiques. This is the current #1 from Threads of History. I don't know if you can still get in the club or not, but I got this like within the last couple of weeks, so you might be able to get in the club. And then, crazy as it was, my son, we watched Bailey for 10 days. We still have hair around the house from Bailey. We keep saying, oh, Bailey's still here. She's a golden retriever. You see her in the break when my husband does the breaks. She's not our dog. She's our son's and daughter-in-law's dog. And he was going to Phoenix for a conference. And he was going to take some days off afterwards. And his wife was going with him. And then they were going to do some touristy hiking and all of that around Phoenix. And so I said, do you want to stop at the attic for me? He's like, sure. Because the attic's only like 15 minutes from the airport. So he got this for me. This is the exclusive Hands Across the Sea from the attic, Jesse Challenor. Challenor? Yeah. And I will do this one. So that was fun because I didn't have to pay shipping. The other things I have were some Happy Mail gifts. Somebody reached out to me. Let me tell you her name. Lisa. And she had this Blackbird chart, and she said, I'd love to send it to you. I didn't have it, so that was very, very nice. She also sent me a piece of linen, and very, very over the top. I'm very thankful once people send me nice things. She also sent me one of the Hands Across the Sea cards, and then also wrote a card. So thank you, Lisa. That was very nice. And then another sweet lady, her name is Linda, and she reached out to me. I did not have this No House for a Mouse, or let's see, without a mouse, House Without a Mouse, BlackBird, and she sent me this, which was very, very nice. Thank you, Linda, with a very nice note. And then I've been getting together with my friend Susan Aki once a month, and she has a quilt close to the table we were sitting at. And I was like, Susan, what quilt is that? Is that one of your designs? And she said, yeah. Well, I have all of her books, and I have purchased all of her books. And so I saw this quilt at her house, and I was like, oh, that's fabulous. That is just fabulous. So she said, yeah, it's in Celebrate with Quilts. This is her newest book with Lisa Alexander. And so she went upstairs to her sewing room. She got the book, and she said, this is the book it's in. I said, oh, that's the only one I don't have. I need to order it. And she goes, no, you can have that one, which was very nice. I wasn't begging for a book. But if you don't have this book, Celebrate with Quilts, you are missing out if you are a quilter. It is absolutely fabulous. Now, most of the book is blocks, and there's a ton of blocks in here. Let me see if I can find the table of contents. Let me look at all the blocks in here. It is put out by It's So Emma, which is Fat Quarter Shop. This design, which is a sampler quilt. And then within the book, there are quilts that are made with those blocks, like the one I just showed you, which is just fabulous. So if you're interested, plus she said she was going to include the cross stitch design for this sampler quilt, but it was not included for whatever reason. But if you get this book, there's a QR code in here to get the cross stitch that matches this. So definitely worth it. It's a very, very good book. And you can get it from Fat Quarter Shop. I think they have it on Amazon, whatever. So anyway, so I just want to thank you for all the many people that subscribe. It's a little bit overwhelming. I also want to apologize to the person that felt like I ignored them at a retreat, and I want the person that said something about my face to know that I did fire my makeup person. So I have taken action.
I'm looking for a job.
He's looking for a job. Well, you are not doing my makeup. No offense, dear. So anyway, I hope y'all are having a good day. I hope you're getting some stitching done, and I hope you're enjoying some spring weather. It's been gorgeous here in Florida. So I will see you when I see you, and love you. Bye.